Here is the firmware for the setup of the intercom I just showed you. From the grandstream phone, you see this is a two-line phone. And from a factory default, it's actually very easy to set up like I showed you in a peer-to-peer mode. Um, Under the general settings, I just gave it the account of 101. That's like an extension number 101. And then this is the IP address of the phone itself in my setup I'm doing, because you're using it in peer-to-peer mode. You're not connecting it to a server. So you put the IP address of the phone in the SIP server setting when you're using it in peer-to-peer mode. And I do find that that does need to be done, or else sometimes it has trouble with the inbound calls to it if that's not set up that way. And then on this quick IP dialing, there's three settings. And again, what I was so under settings, it's general settings, okay? Or sorry, call features. It's call features I'm at here, all right? And there's three things from the default that you need to set up for peer-to-peer calling in here. Is number one, you do not want to disable direct IP calling. I believe in the standard setup of the phone, they have this disabled just for safety features, so no one like peer-to-peers the phone on a network when you have it connected to a PBX for security. And then I was using that quick IP call mode, so you do want to activate that and make sure that is set to yes. So again, you want to not disable direct IP call mode because you want to make IP call modes, and then you want to be able to use the quick IP mode, so you click it to yes. And then since you're going to use the pound key in that feature, you just come around right here, and here the standard setup has you using the pound key for redial, and you want to turn that off. So you don't want to use the pound key for redial. Those are really the three only settings that you need to kind of do special for this direct IP calling with the phone. On my two devices I had showing there, okay, so I had an Annuncicom 100 and an Annuncicom 200 device. And you see here, they're both running our SIP client. This is downloaded from the Barix website. It's the BCL SIP application, and we can teach you how to quickly load that onto our Barix devices here. It's the BCL SIP client. This profile I'm using for an intercom, see there are multiple uses of this SIP firmware. It has a lot of features. And since I'm using it as an intercom, I'm going to use the door station mode here. Okay, and that'll give me certain setups on here that are set up just for an intercom, like you would use at a door or a gate. And I'm in the basic settings right now, so let me go into the advanced settings. And here you see I gave it its static IP address and put it on the same subnet as the other devices. That's all I did for the network settings there. On the SIP protocol, it's a peer-to-peer SIP call. So when I hit yes, it's only going to give you these selections. See, if you're going to connect it to a PBX, it gives you more of the selections. But in peer-to-peer mode, it just gives you these ones here. It's SIP user ID 1 I gave it because it's .1. And then the display ID, I wanted it to show Bay1 when it calls. From there, you can change the nomenclature to whatever you like there. Pretty much from there, I left everything the same. On the outbound call, you see some of our devices have many inputs. This is input 0 I was using. This is the IP address of the phone. So I wanted it to call my phone when I short out 0. And then here's the settings for the audio. And what this is going to control is how loud your speaker output is. And also, too, if you want to take the input from the line or the mic setting. Remember, I was showing you there's a mic or a line input on the boxes. And remember, I was suggesting that you use the line input and then have the microphone that you use, the outdoor mic, converted over to line level and use this line input. You have obviously a volume on the speaker output. We do allow for G722 audio if you want it. I usually just use U-Law microphones and intercom connections because, again, G711 is made to sample just the audio range of a voice. So that's one reason why I like to keep it like this. If you use different codecs available, sometimes you can pick up background noise that you don't want. Because again, all we're trying to do is communicate two voices back and forth. So sometimes it's actually better just to use the old school G711 setting on the audio. Now, what is unique to the Barix box is in this talk mode, okay, we do have a full duplex setting. Now, when you set the device to full duplex, we are a true full duplex. There is some level of acoustic echo cancellation here, but it's very weak. There's very little memory in these boxes for a very strong acoustic echo cancellation. And also, acoustic echo cancellation is something that really works well when the software designer knows where the mic and speakers are going to go. Okay, and with our boxes, people are using microphones and speakers of different styles, different types, and they're placed in different locations. So what I always try and suggest is that you just leave the acoustic cancellation off and you actually use this half duplex. Now the Barix half duplex, it's a hands-free half duplex. So from the intercom side, the person's just going to talk or listen. They're not going to have to worry about hitting buttons or anything to talk. This is all controlled from the master side. And you saw with the phone, what you can do is use the mute on the phone side, so it mutes the phone audio coming into this intercom, to then just force the audio from the intercom. It'll force the microphone to send the audio to this intercom. In this half duplex setting, which is pretty cool, and it's explained over here, there's two numbers here. There's the output trigger level and then amount of time. Okay, and what you're doing here is you're setting a level of audio. Now this is something that is inherent. It's not a dB level or anything. This number is something proprietary to our software that we have. And you'll see it's a number from 0 to 32,000. Over here on the right side, we explain what this is. And what this is when the level of audio coming into so from the master side into the intercom, when it falls below this level for this much time, then it forces the intercom to send its audio from its microphone to the master side, to the phone side, okay? And you can play with these and change them. You can turn it up. You can make it a longer time before it makes that change. And again, when you separate the speaker and mic, this, what I call hands-free half duplex, it actually works very well. And in many cases, you can use a horn speaker and an outdoor microphone spaced about 10 feet apart, and you can actually get a very good hands-free half duplex where from the phone side, you're talking either into the handset or into possible the speakerphone mode. I never guarantee two open-air conversations at the same time. That is very difficult to do when you have uncontrollable background noise, which again is inherent in an outdoor intercom setup because you have engines running, different kinds of engines, different size of engines. So whenever you have what I call an uncontrollable background noise on one side or possibly both sides of a conversation, promising open air communication is very difficult to promise to somebody because there's just too many variables to know. But it will work. This hands-free half duplex settings many times will give you speakerphone on one side of the call and then my intercom on the other side. If not, though, what you can do is just use the mute button from the phone side to act as push to talk. So when you talk into the device, you're talking, it will overtake the intercom side and give your audio out the speaker side. But then when you want to listen to the person for an extended period of time from the intercom side, you hit the mute button on the phone, and then that will allow it to force the audio to be sent from the intercom side. And this is the settings for that right here. It's that simple. And again, I don't need to get into any other settings over here on the side for you in this application because a lot of those pertain to different profiles. Okay, so if you're using my SIP endpoint for paging only, or you're using it actually to just monitor audio only, there's different things you can do here in the profile with my SIP firmware. I just wanted, for the purpose of this video, we're just going over the door station side. And again, those settings I showed you, those are really the only settings you need to be concerned with is just on this audio here. You need to understand, here's the volume for the speaker coming out of the intercom. And then, again, since I'm using the line level here, I want to control the gain on this side. So if I need it, so if my mic that was connected into the line level side needs to be boosted from my end, again, maybe there's going to be a gain adjustment on your microphone side that outputs into the line level. You can do an adjustment there. Or again, if the audio coming into my device on the line level side, it's this AD gain. So here I could boost that up really high if I need to. The default is just 0. Okay. And then again, so on the mic side here, you would adjust the microphone gain if you're going to use that Electet 2.7 volt mic side of the Annuncicom. Here's the gain for that side. But the point is I do have adjustable gain levels on the audio input here. This is the output going to the speaker. And then again, further explanation of the half duplex settings, which again, this half duplex is very interesting and unique. and it allows a good gating of the audio in these open air intercom situations where there is what I call an uncontrollable background noise, an engine running or something else.